When the legend of world basketball challenged a waitress to prove she deserved $10 million, he didn't expect to regret the proposal. "Where's my tip?" Waitress Harper Lane spoke in a firm, challenging voice to Michael Jordan. Michael responded, "Girl, why are you speaking with such arrogance?" "Because I deserve my tip. Are you too rich to leave a tip by chance?" Michael laughed, grabbing a pen. "Relax, I'll give you something better than money." He signed a napkin and offered it to Harper. "An autograph from Michael Jordan is worth more than a tip." Harper looked at the paper and guffawed. "Paper doesn't pay the electricity bill. Do you think I can go grocery shopping with your signature?" "Ungrateful. Ungrateful," Harper exploded, pointing to his feet. "These sneakers cost $1,200, more than my entire monthly salary." Michael stood up, irritated. "So what? You spend more on a pair of sneakers than I earn from 30 days of sweat, but a $5 tip is too much?" Tears welled up, but Harper didn't stop. "I work hard. I deserve to live well. I work harder than you. I suffer more than you." Then Michael Jordan said emphatically, "I'll give you $10 million if you prove you truly deserve it." "Ha ha ha, 10 million? You better believe I'll prove it right now." Harper gave a bitter smile and began to pull up the hem of her shirt. "Harper, what are you doing? You're taking off your clothes. You're going to get naked in my restaurant. Stop this at once," shouted the restaurant manager. All the customers were shocked. Some stood up to get a better look. Others covered their children's eyes. Michael took a step back, confused. Michael stood up and said, Hey, there's no need for that." "No?" Harper stopped with her shirt at chest height, revealing a gigantic scar on the right side of her abdomen. "You want to see what deserving is? Then look at this, Mr. Michael Jordan." The silence in the restaurant was sepulchral. The scar was enormous, irregular, as if someone had carelessly cut Harper with a knife. "Do you know what this is, Michael Jordan?" He shook his head, genuinely shocked. "This is where they took my kidney. My kidney!" Harper shouted, tears beginning to stream down her face. "To save my mother." Michael swallowed hard. "Harper, you don't need to." "I do need to." She pulled her shirt down but continued shouting. "You want to know if I deserve it? Then you're going to know everything." Harper approached him, her eyes blazing with fury. "I was 22 years old. My mother was dying of kidney failure. The doctors said she had 6 months to live without a transplant. Harper, I'm so sorry." "Shut up and listen." Harper slammed her fist on the table. "I didn't even think twice. I went and offered my kidney. Do you know how long it takes to recover from surgery like that?" Michael shook his head. 6 months. 6 months of not being able to work properly, in pain, taking medication that made me dizzy. But I endured it because it was my mother." Harper began pacing, her hands trembling. "Do you know what happened 2 years later?" "What?" Michael asked softly. "Cancer!" Harper screamed so loudly that several patrons flinched. "My mother developed cancer in the kidney I gave her." Michael brought a hand to his mouth. "My God." "Your God wasn't there." Harper laughed bitterly. "Do you know how much chemotherapy costs, Michael? Do you know how much radiation therapy costs? Experimental medication?" She moved closer to him. "I sold everything. My house, my car, my jewelry. I became neck-deep in debt. I borrowed money from loan sharks to pay for my mother's treatment. Harper, please." "Please what?" She let out a hollow laugh. "Do you want to hear the good part?" Michael remained silent, watching the woman crumble before him. "I starved, Michael. I ate once a day to save money for her medication. I lost 33 pounds in 2 months." Harper wiped away tears with the back of her hand, but they continued to fall. "And do you know what happened after 2 years of struggle? 2 years of eating ramen noodles and working 18-hour days?" "She got better?" Michael asked, a flicker of hope in his voice. "She died," Harper exploded. "She died right in front of me, in the hospital, holding my hand." The entire restaurant was silent. Some people were weeping along with Harper. "But wait, Michael, it's not over yet." Harper smiled through her tears. "Want to know what happened on the day of my mother's funeral?" Michael was visibly shaken. "Harper, that's enough." "It's not enough." She slammed the table again. "On the day I buried my mother, the woman for whom I gave a kidney went into debt and starved. Harper paused, breathing heavily. On the day I buried her, I came home early and caught my husband kissing my sister. What? That's right, Harper shrieked. In my living room, the day I buried my mother, my husband was entangled with my own sister. It was a double betrayal. Michael ran a hand over his face, utterly aghast. They had been together for months, months. While I was working myself to the bone to save my mother, they were frolicking behind my back. Harper began to sob. Do you know what my sister told me when I asked why? What? Michael whispered. She said I was so focused on our mother that I forgot to be a wife. The silence was deafening. My husband took his things and left, with her, to another state. He left me alone with a 5-year-old son and a debt of $200,000. Harper leaned against the chair, exhausted. Since then, Michael, I've been depressed. I take prescription medication. I wake up at 4 in the morning and work until midnight. 3 jobs. Harper ... My son asks why Daddy doesn't call, why we don't have new toys, why we eat pasta every day. Tears streamed down her face. I've always been a decent person, always. I've never wronged anyone. I've always helped those in need. And what did I get? Pain, only pain. Harper looked directly into Michael's eyes. So tell me, Michael Jordan, do I need to prove I deserve it? I, who gave my kidney, my health, my home, my marriage, my peace. Do I need to prove it? Michael's eyes were brimming with tears. He pulled his wallet from his pocket with trembling hands and took out a checkbook. Harper, I didn't know. Nobody knows, she shouted. Nobody wants to know. You all just see a grumpy waitress. Michael began to fill out the check with a gold pen, his trembling hand barely able to write. Harper, please accept this. He finished writing and extended the check to her. In large letters it read, $10 million. You deserve all of this and so much more. Everyone in the restaurant fell silent, awaiting Harper's reaction. Harper looked at the check, then at Michael, then at everyone watching. Slowly, she took the check from his hands and tore it. The sound of ripping paper echoed through the restaurant like a gunshot. The pieces of the $10 million check floated in the air for an eternal second before cascading to the floor like bitter confetti. $10 million ripped to shreds in front of everyone. I don't want your pity, Harper screamed furiously. A child began to cry in the corner of the restaurant. A woman clutched her mouth, aghast. The manager froze behind the counter, eyes wide. Some patrons snapped photos, others recorded videos, but all were in a state of utter shock. My God, whispered a man at the next table. She just ripped up $10 million. Is she insane? Murmured an elderly woman. Is this real? Asked a young man, filming everything. Harper stood there, gazing at the shredded fragments of the check at her feet, breathing heavily as if she'd just summited Everest. Her hands trembled, but not from fear. It was pure adrenaline coursing through her veins. Michael Jordan was utterly flummoxed. His mind couldn't quite process what had just transpired. I don't understand, he stammered, looking at the pieces on the floor. Why did you do that? Harper slowly lifted her head, her tear-reddened eyes now blazing with a fierce determination Michael had never before encountered. You don't understand anything, Michael Jordan. Her voice sliced through the air like a razor. Each word was crisp, precise, impossible to disregard. The entire restaurant fell silent to listen. I don't need to prove I deserve it. I already know I deserve it, she continued, her voice reverberating off the walls. The problem is you wealthy people think you can buy people's souls. She gestured to the ripped check scattered on the floor. My dignity isn't for sale, Michael Jordan. It never was and it never will be. Michael shook his head, attempting to regain his footing. But I wanted to help. I just wanted to... Help, Harper guffawed, though there was no mirth in her laughter. It was a bitter sound, laden with years of pent-up frustration. You think throwing money at someone is helping? She stooped and gathered a few pieces of the check, splaying them in her palm as if they were dead rose petals. This isn't help, Michael. This is your conscience cleanser. 10 million so you can sleep better at night, thinking you're a good person. Harper, you don't understand. I really... Let me speak, Harper exploded, flinging the check fragments back onto the table. Listen for once in your privileged life. The ensuing silence was so profound, one could hear every breath in the restaurant. You want to actually help, Michael Jordan? She paused, letting the question hang in the air. Do you really want to make a difference in someone's life? Michael nodded hesitantly. Then come work with me for a week. Michael blinked several times as if he'd misheard. What? You heard me. Harper crossed her arms, staring directly at him. Come experience waking up at 4 in the morning every single day. She began circling him, like a predator cornering its prey. Come feel back pain after carrying trays for 12 consecutive hours. Come smile when you're dying inside because the customer is an arrogant jerk. The restaurant was mesmerized. Not a muscle moved. Everyone hung on her every word. Come live for a week on $50. Harper stopped in front of him. $50, Michael. Less than you spend on a single glass of wine. She moved so close that Michael could feel the rage radiating from her. Then you'll understand that the problem isn't giving money. It's understanding where the need for it comes from. It's understanding that we are people, not a charity project. Michael ran a hand over his face, breaking out in a cold sweat. The situation had spiraled completely out of his control. Are you challenging me? Seriously? I'm offering you free education. Harper smiled, but it was a dangerous smile, laced with venom. Something all your money could never buy for you. Michael slowly stood up, his imposing height attempting to intimidate Harper. But she didn't flinch. If there was fear in her eyes, it was well hidden behind her fury. Have you lost your mind? His voice began to rise, regaining some of its familiar arrogance. Do you know who you're talking to? I do. Harper didn't blink. I don't need to prove anything to anyone, he shouted, slamming his fist on the table. The entire restaurant collectively sighed, as if Michael had just confirmed exactly what Harper had been saying. Exactly! Harper clapped her hands slowly, each clap echoing like a gunshot. You've proven my point better than I could have in 1,000 years. She turned to face the entire restaurant, speaking loud enough for everyone to hear, as if she were on a stage. Look at this, everyone. Pay attention to the show. Her voice was theatrical now, full of sarcasm. He offers millions to one person, plays the good guy, the generous one, but doesn't have the guts to live 1 week like that same person does. Murmurs began to spread across the tables. People whispered amongst themselves, gesturing towards Michael, some shaking their heads in disapproval. It's easy to be charitable when you're on top, isn't it, Michael? Harper continued, still with her back to him. When you can toss crumbs and feel superior. I do more charity. I help so many people. Michael retorted, his face flushed with anger. Charity! Harper spun around, her eyes blazing. Here comes the magic word. The word you people use to feel like gods. A middle-aged man, clearly a manual laborer judging by his calloused hands, shouted, Take the challenge, Jordan. Show us you're a man. A young woman in a nurse's uniform at the next table chimed in. Come see what real work is like. A young man who appeared to be a college student stood up. Show us you're not all talk. Soon the entire restaurant was on its feet. The sound was deafening. Except. Michael looked around, realizing he was surrounded. There was no way out without appearing utterly cowardly. His reputation, built over decades, was being tested in real time. Harper saw the hesitation in his eyes and attacked like a shark smelling blood in the water. Ah, I get it. She shook her head, feigning condescending understanding. Now the penny drops. Michael clenched his fist but said nothing. It's easier to write a check than to get your hands dirty, isn't it? Harper continued, her voice cutting. It's easier to be generous from afar than to understand real life. She began to slowly remove her uniform apron, as if each movement was calculated for maximum psychological impact. Here, Michael. She extended the apron to him as if it were a physical challenge. Put this on. Michael looked at the apron as if it were a venomous snake. Come serve tables for a week. Come wake up at 4 in the morning when your body is screaming for 2 more hours of sleep. The crowd continued to chant, Accept! Accept! But Harper spoke over the din. Come feel the pain in your feet for 12 hours straight. Come smile at customers who treat you like dirt. Come find out what real work is. Michael Jordan. Michael was sweating now, looking around at the cameras recording everything, at the people staring at him as if he were a defendant in a courtroom. But Harper wasn't finished yet. She pulled her phone out of her pocket with a dramatic flourish. You know what else, Michael? She opened TikTok right in front of him, making sure he saw. I'm posting this right now. Michael stepped forward, alarmed. Wait, there's no need for that. Yes, there is. Harper held the phone high, like a weapon. The world needs to see that you rich people only help when it's convenient for you. She hit the record button and started talking to the camera. Folks, you won't believe what just happened here. Michael Jordan, that's right, the Michael Jordan, offered $10 million to a waitress to prove she deserved it. Stop! Michael yelled, trying to grab the phone. Stop this! Harper quickly moved away, still recording. But when she challenged him to live like an ordinary person for 1 week, guess what happened? Michael was desperate now. He could see his reputation being destroyed in real time, broadcast live to millions. He refused! Harper continued to the camera. The man who has billions doesn't have the courage to live like his own employees do. Fine, fine, Michael shouted, the veins in his neck bulging. I accept. Harper paused the recording, but kept her finger on the post button. Accept what exactly? Her voice was dangerously calm now. I accept working for a week as a waiter. The words came out of his mouth as if they were poison. The restaurant erupted in deafening cheers and applause. But Harper wasn't smiling. In fact, her expression grew even more serious. No, no, no! She wagged her finger as if correcting a child. This isn't a little game for you to post on Instagram, Michael. This isn't marketing. Michael took a deep breath, trying to regain control of a situation that had completely slipped through his fingers. All right, Harper. His voice had a different tone now, more calculating. But if this is how you want to play, I have a condition too. The crowd fell silent, eager to hear what Michael Jordan had to say. If I can work a full week like you... Michael straightened his shoulders, regaining some of his imposing presence. You come work a week at my company. Harper raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Come see what it's like to manage billions of dollars. Make decisions that affect thousands of people. Carry responsibilities you can't even imagine. The interest in the restaurant was palpable. The dynamic had suddenly shifted. Michael Jordan was now turning the tables in his favor. You think it's easy being rich? Michael continued, gaining confidence with every word. You think it's just about spending money and having fun? That there's no pressure, no stress, no responsibility? Harper stopped smiling. The proposal had caught her completely off guard. You want to understand my world? Michael took a step forward. Then come. Come spend a week making decisions involving billions of dollars. The restaurant was in absolute silence again, everyone awaiting Harper's response. Come feel the weight of knowing that one mistake you make could cost thousands of people their jobs. Come see what it's like when everyone wants a piece of you. Michael was in command now, and he knew it. I accept. Harper extended her hand, but her voice lacked its usual confidence. Michael clasped her hand firmly. Harper said, if you fail, you will publicly admit on national television that you know nothing about real fighting. Deal, he replied, a smile gracing his lips for the first time since the argument began. Darling, I'm Michael Jordan. I've overcome every challenge in my life. I'll overcome this one too. And when you fail, because you will fail, you'll admit that being rich isn't as easy as it looks, and that you were wrong about me. They locked eyes for a few tense seconds, neither willing to release the other's hand first. It was a battle of wills, each attempting to intimidate the other. 1 week, Harper stated. 1 week, Michael agreed. We start tomorrow. Tomorrow. No cheating, no help from your assistants. No crying when you discover the real world isn't a Disney movie. They continued to hold hands, facing each other like gladiators before a fight. Suddenly, the restaurant door burst open with such force that it slammed against the wall. A tall, dark man in an expensive suit burst in, looking around desperately as if searching for someone in a hospital. When he spotted Michael Jordan shaking hands with a blonde waitress amidst a screaming crowd, with torn check fragments scattered on the floor and cameras recording everything, his face went ashen. "Michael!" he bellowed, his voice cutting through the din. "What in God's name is going on here?" Michael released Harper's hand and turned slowly. "Liam?" His voice emerged weaker than intended. "What are you doing here?" Liam Carter, Michael's personal assistant for 15 years, the man privy to all his secrets, surveyed the restaurant in utter panic. Cameras were rolling, people were shouting, paper littered the floor, and his boss, the most powerful man he knew, was holding hands with a waitress. "I've been looking for you for 2 hours." Liam approached rapidly, attempting to keep his voice down but failing miserably. "You've missed 3 crucial meetings with Japanese investors, and now I find you." He glanced at Harper, then at the shredded check pieces on the floor, then at the multitude of cameras trained on them. "Michael, for the love of all that is holy, tell me you haven't done what I think you've done." "Liam," Michael said slowly, as if addressing a child, "I need you to cancel my schedule for next week." "Why?" Liam shrieked so loudly that several people flinched. "Why would I cancel the schedule of the most important man in the business world?" "Because tomorrow I'm starting work as a waiter." Seconds later, they were in the car when Liam yelled, "Michael, have you completely lost your mind? I've already called 5 lawyers." Michael sat in the driver's seat of the Mercedes, staring fixedly at the steering wheel. "Cancel the calls, Liam." "I am not canceling anything. You've just publicly committed to working as a waiter. The company's stock is already plummeting." Michael finally looked at him. "How much?" 12% in an hour. Liam thrust his phone forward. "Twitter is exploding. Michael Jordan accepts waiter job is trending worldwide." Michael took a deep, shuddering breath. It was either that or become a meme forever. Meanwhile, Harper walked the darkened streets toward her apartment. Her legs trembled, not from exhaustion, but from the adrenaline of what had just transpired. "I challenged Michael Jordan," she thought. "I actually did it." She opened her apartment door to find Tyler, her 8-year-old son, engrossed in cartoons on the old television. "Mom!" Tyler exclaimed, rushing to hug her. "How was work today?" Harper looked at her son's innocent face and couldn't bring herself to tell him the truth. "It was different, sweetie." "Why are you crying?" Harper hadn't even realized she was weeping. "I'm fine, baby. Just tired." Tyler pulled her onto the sofa. "Mom, the lady in the apartment downstairs said some men were asking about us." Harper's stomach plummeted. "What men?" "She said they were from the bank." Harper closed her eyes. She knew what that meant. Meanwhile, Liam wouldn't stop talking. "Michael, think about this. You have a meeting with Nike on Tuesday, an investor conference on Wednesday." "Liam," Michael exited the car, "listen to me very carefully, just once." Liam fell silent. "I made a deal. A Jordan doesn't break his word." "But Michael—" "No buts," Michael shouted. "Do you think I don't know what I'm doing?" Liam remained quiet, but his expression conveyed everything. "Look, I understand your concern." Michael placed a hand on his shoulder. "But I want you to arrange this. Tomorrow, 5 a.m., I start working as a waiter at the Rusty Spoon. And the company. You're in charge for a week. No major decisions. Just maintenance." Liam shook his head, defeated. "And the terms of the challenge?" Michael pulled out his phone and dialed Harper. "Harper? It's Michael. We need to finalize the terms." On the other end of the line, Harper was staring at a pile of overdue bills. "What terms?" $50 a week, right?" "Right." "No outside help?" "No outside help." Harper paused. "And Michael?" "Yes?" "That applies to me too. In your company, no special treatment." "Deal. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Harper hung up and looked at the bills again. Rent 2 months late. Electricity to be cut off tomorrow. Credit card maxed out. She picked up an envelope that had been slipped under her door and felt the world crumble. Eviction notice. Deadline. 24 hours. Tyler appeared in the kitchen. "Mom, what is this?" Harper tried to hide the paper, but Tyler had already seen it. "Are we going to have to leave the house?" His voice trembled. "I'll figure it out, baby. I promise." But she had no idea how. At 11 p.m., Harper heard a knock at the door. When she opened it, she found Michael Jordan standing in the hallway, holding a small backpack. Hi. He glanced nervously at the apartment. I've been thinking more about the challenge. If I'm going to live your life, it has to be for real. Harper was shocked. You want to sleep here? If it's not too much trouble. Tyler appeared behind Harper, his jaw agape. Mom, it's the TV man. Michael smiled for the first time in hours. Hi, champ. What's your name? Tyler, are you really Michael Jordan? I sure am. You're huge. Tyler ran to hug Michael's leg. Harper let Michael in, still in a state of disbelief. The apartment was minuscule. A living room, one bedroom, a kitchen that resembled a closet more than anything. Sorry about the mess. Harper's face was flushed with embarrassment. Michael looked around. Peeling paint, worn furniture, a tube TV, a refrigerator making a strange noise. It's no problem. Uncle Michael, Tyler tugged his hand. Want to see my room? Tyler's room was a corner of the living room, sectioned off by a curtain. A twin bed, a few old toys, drawings taped to the wall. That's really cool, man. Michael crouched down to Tyler's level. Did you draw this? Yeah, it's you playing basketball. Michael looked at the drawing. A tall figure in a number 23 jersey, executing a slam dunk. Rendered in old crayons, but filled with love. It's incredible, Tyler. Harper was in the kitchen, trying to hide the overdue bills. But Michael saw everything. Harper, about the eviction. You saw? I did. Michael moved closer. How much do you owe? $3,200. Michael instinctively reached for his wallet, but Harper stopped him. Number no money. Remember the deal? But Harper? No buts! She mimicked his tone. You want to live my life? Then live with my problems too. Tyler appeared in the kitchen doorway. Mom, where's Uncle Michael going to sleep? Harper looked around. There was no space. On the couch, sweetie. But the couch is broken. It was true. The couch sagged on one side, and springs were poking out. I'll just sleep on the floor, Michael said. No! Tyler protested. You're famous. Famous people don't sleep on the floor. Tyler, go brush your teeth, Harper said. When Tyler left, Harper turned to Michael. Last chance to back out. Why? Because tomorrow at 6 a.m., the eviction officer is going to knock on this door, and then you'll see what real humiliation is. Michael swallowed hard. I'm not giving up. The next day, a heavy pounding on the door, followed by a shout. Police! Eviction officer! Harper glanced at the clock. 6 a.m. sharp. Michael was asleep on the living room floor, a towel serving as his pillow. He woke up startled. Already? He whispered. Harper walked to the door but didn't open it. 5 minutes, she yelled. Mrs. Lane, you have 2 minutes to open this door. Tyler started crying. Mom, I don't want to leave here. Michael sat up, confused and still groggy. His first night in the real world had been a nightmare. A mattress on the floor, noisy neighbors, sirens wailing in the street. Harper, let me. No! Harper was adamant. You want to see my life? Then watch. The pounding on the door intensified. From the other side, the eviction officer bellowed, Last chance, Mrs. Lane. Harper took Tyler's hand. Come on, sweetie. I'll take you to school. And the officer, Michael asked. He'll wait. The law says he has to wait until 8 a.m. And after that? Harper paused at the door. After that, we'll be homeless. She took Tyler's hand. Harper and Tyler left, leaving Michael alone in the apartment. The eviction officer banged on the door again, harder this time. Open this door now! Michael opened it hesitantly. The officer looked him up and down. Who are you? Friend of Harper's. Friend? The officer chuckled maliciously. Then perhaps you can explain where the $3,200 she owes is. She'll get the money. She'll get it. The officer stepped into the apartment. Look at this place. This woman doesn't have a pot to piss in. And you and friend, you're just going to stand there and watch her get evicted? Michael shifted uncomfortably. If the money isn't here by 8 a.m., I'm throwing you all out, the officer continued. And the kid too. A child on the street because the mother's a deadbeat. She's not a deadbeat. Then pay up. The officer slammed his hand on the table. $3,200 now, or you pack your junk and get out. Michael looked around the modest apartment, thought of Tyler returning from school with nowhere to go, and pulled out his wallet. Here's the $3,200. The officer looked surprised, counted the money and pocketed it. Paid in full. You can stay. Minutes later, on the other side of town, Liam was arriving at the Jordan Brand offices at 5:30 a.m. He had slept for 2 hours, spending the early morning hours on the phone with lawyers and publicists. When the elevator doors slid open onto the 40th floor, he was met by Harper Lane standing at the reception desk, clad in a borrowed suit that was patently too large for her. You must be Liam. Harper extended her hand. Liam stared at her as if she were an apparition. Are you serious about this? Deadly serious. You know this building is worth more than your entire neighborhood? Harper smirked. Rich likes to remind poor where she belongs. Liam sighed and led her to a conference room larger than Harper's entire apartment. Your responsibilities include, he tossed a stack of documents onto the table, investment analysis, supplier meetings, international factory decisions. Harper gazed at the pile of papers. There were hundreds of pages. And Michael? How is he? Likely being humiliated by clients at this very moment. At the Rusty Spoon restaurant, Michael was having the worst day of his life. Waiter! A man in a suit bellowed, snapping his fingers. My coffee is cold. Michael approached, attempting a smile. I'm sorry, sir. I'll bring you another. Are you new here? Yes, sir. It shows. The man chuckled to his friends. This one won't last a week. Michael walked toward the kitchen, hands trembling with rage. Never in his life had he been treated this way. First table? Asked Rosa, the head chef. Yeah. How do you guys put up with this? We put up with it because we need to eat. Rosa eyed him with curiosity. You're a bit tall for a waiter. Michael served the next table, a family with 2 young children. One of the children spilled orange juice on his shirt. Oh, I'm so sorry, the mother exclaimed, dabbing at the stain. No problem. Michael forced a smile, but inwardly he was seething. 3 hours into his shift, and he already felt like quitting. Back in the office, Harper was poring over documents that made her head ache. Quarterly report, investment analysis, operating profit margin, projected cash flow, return on investment rate, portfolio diversification. Liam, Harper shrieked. He appeared in the doorway. What is this? She demanded, gesturing to the towering pile of papers. I don't understand any of this. Liam grew impatient. They're basic financial reports, Harper. Basic? Harper stood up, her voice rising. There are 1,000 pages here. What the hell is amortization of intangible assets? Her voice echoed throughout the entire floor. And why do I have to decide on a factory in South Korea when I don't even know where South Korea is? Liam quickly shut the door. You don't understand how this works. I understand nothing. Harper slammed the documents onto the desk. You expect me to make decisions that affect thousands of people without explaining what they mean. Harper spent the next 2 hours trying to decipher documents that seemed written in code. It wasn't just one decision. It was 50 decisions a day. Investments, layoffs, hirings, budgets, marketing strategies. Liam, how many decisions does Michael make a day? Liam looked visibly uncomfortable. Harper, you need to understand that being CEO, answer the question. About 200 significant decisions. Some affect thousands of jobs. Harper felt as if she'd been punched in the gut. 200 decisions? A day, and every single one could bankrupt the company. Harper looked back at the documents. Complex charts, incomprehensible numbers, technical jargon. What if I make the wrong decision? Harper? What if I make the wrong decision? Her voice was climbing. How many people become unemployed? She grabbed her cell phone and dialed Michael. In the restaurant, Michael was carrying a heavy tray when his phone rang. He answered quickly. Harper? I can't talk right now. I'm working. I can't do this. What's wrong? Running your company. It's impossible. The entire restaurant stared as Michael quickly exited into the alley behind the kitchen. Harper, listen. How do you make 200 decisions a day? Michael closed his eyes. With a lot of studying and a lot of mistakes. Silence on the other end of the line. Harper, I'm too stupid for this. You're not stupid. Yes, I am, Harper exploded. I don't even understand the basics. How do you carry this responsibility? And she hung up. Michael returned to the restaurant, but now he understood better why Harper had exploded at him the day before. The next morning, Michael woke up to the sound of helicopters. When he looked out the window, he saw a crowd of reporters in the street. Oh my God, he whispered. Harper was in the kitchen, making coffee, as if there were no cameras pointed at her window. When you're poor, the media only gets interested when there's a scandal. Harper, this has gotten out of control. Tyler appeared in the living room, still in his pajamas. Mom, why are there so many people in the street? Because Uncle Michael is famous, honey. Do they want autographs? Harper and Michael looked at each other. Something like that, Harper replied. Her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello? Harper Lane? This is Sandra Mills from CNN. We'd like to do an interview. Harper hung up. The phone rang again. Harper Lane, this is TMZ. She hung up again. Third call. This is the New York Times. Harper took the phone off the hook. How did they get my number? She looked at Michael. It wasn't me. Liam! Harper shouted, grabbing her cell phone. Did you give my number to the press? Harper, the situation is unmanageable. Answer the question. It wasn't me. Harper went pale. What? It's on Twitter, Jordan slaves, global trending topic. Michael stood up slowly. I need to go to work. You're really going? I made a deal. Harper laughed, but humorlessly. With all this scandal, you're still going to work as a waiter? A Jordan keeps his word. Even when that word is worth billions? Michael stopped at the door. Especially when it's worth billions. At the restaurant, the situation was worse than Michael had imagined. Reporters were surrounding the place. Michael entered through the back door but was recognized immediately. It's him, a customer shouted. It's Michael Jordan. The entire restaurant turned to look. Cell phones appeared like machine guns, all recording. Please, everyone, Michael tried to say. Michael put on his apron with trembling hands. I just want to work. Work? A woman stood up. You call this working? Michael attempted to grasp a tray, but his hands trembled so violently he sent everything crashing to the floor. Broken plates scattered everywhere, camera flashes, malicious laughter. Pathetic, someone bellowed. Michael knelt to gather the shards, tears beginning to well up. There in the middle of the restaurant, surrounded by cameras and filming onlookers, he broke down. The tears came in waves. Michael was on his knees amidst the shattered porcelain, sobbing like a child. 30 years of success, glory, adoration. And now he was here, being filmed during the most humiliating moment of his life. Someone call an ambulance, shouted Rosa, the head chef. Michael tried to stand, but his legs refused to cooperate. His chest tightened. Air refused to enter his lungs. I can't breathe, he whispered. Michael passed out from the stress. Across town, Harper was in a tense meeting with the Jordan brand board when Liam burst into the room. Harper, Michael fainted at the restaurant. They're taking him to the hospital. Harper stood up immediately. I'm going there. But the meeting, protested an executive. To hell with the meeting, Harper yelled. A man is suffering. At the hospital, Harper found Michael conscious but shaken. He lay on the gurney, hooked up to monitors. How are you? Humiliated. His voice was weak. Utterly humiliated. Welcome to my world. Michael looked at her. Harper, I've never been treated like that before. Like what? Like trash. Like I wasn't human. Harper sat beside the gurney. Since yesterday, customers have been humiliating me constantly, snapping their fingers, yelling at me, treating me like disposable staff. And how do you feel? How do you endure this? This constant humiliation? This disrespect every single day? Harper was quiet for a moment. You learn, or you die inside. Michael closed his eyes. I'm dying inside. Harper responded, "That's the difference between you and me. When I died inside, nobody cared. When you die inside, it becomes world news." Harper's phone rang. It was Tyler. "Mom, did you see the TV?" "No, honey, why?" "Uncle Michael is all over the channels. He's crying." Harper glanced at Michael, who was listening to everything. "He's okay, Tyler. He's just learning." "Learning what?" "To be human." When Harper hung up, Michael stared at her. "The video went viral, didn't it?" "Yes. Jordan breakdown is trending." Michael chuckled bitterly. "From icon to punchline in 48 hours. That's got to be some kind of record." "Michael, you know what the worst part is, Harper?" Michael sat down on the gurney. "When I was in there crying, the only thing I could think was, now I get it." "Get what?" "Why you tear up $10 million checks?" Harper fell silent. "Because it's not about the money. It never was. It's about dignity." The doctor entered the room. "Mr. Jordan, you experienced a severe panic attack brought on by extreme stress. I recommend rest." "Doctor," Michael interrupted, "is it normal for someone to pass out from being humiliated?" The doctor looked confused. "Excuse me? Answer me. If someone is treated like trash every single day, can that lead to health problems?" Harper understood where Michael was going. "Michael, you don't have to." "I do," Michael shouted. "Doctor, can stress and humiliation cause what kind of problems?" The doctor responded professionally. "Depression, anxiety, heart conditions, ulcers. The list is extensive. And how much did my care here cost?" "Mr. Jordan, ... How much did it cost?" "Roughly $3,000 for the emergency." Michael looked at Harper. $3,000, the same as your overdue rent." "Michael," he replied, "when I get stressed, I get $3,000 medical care. When you get stressed, you suck it up and keep working." Harper stood in silence, absorbing his words. "Michael, you finally understand." "Understand what?" "The difference between us." Harper stood up. "You had one bad day and the world stopped to help you. I've had bad days for years and no one ever asked if I was okay." Michael tried to sit up on the gurney. "Harper, I want to change that. I want to do it differently." "How?" "I don't know yet, but I want to learn." His phone rang. It was Liam. "Michael, thank God you're okay. The company's stock. Investors are panicking. We need an official statement." Michael looked at Harper, then at the phone. "Liam?" "Yes?" "Cancel everything. Meetings, appointments, all of it." "Michael, you can't." "I can, and I will." Michael hung up the phone and turned to Harper. "Sometimes you have to stop the world to understand what really matters." Harper looked at him with a mixture of surprise and respect. "And now I go back to the restaurant, and you go back to the office." "Michael, you just collapsed. And you've been working sick for years." Michael smiled sadly. "The difference is, I can choose to stop. You never could." Michael returned to the restaurant the next morning as if nothing had happened. His hands still trembled slightly, but his resolve was ironclad. "Are you sure?" Rosa, the head chef, asked, concerned. "You passed out yesterday." "I'm fine." Michael tied his apron. "I have a job to do." Meanwhile, at the Jordan Brand office, Harper was buried in paperwork, trying to decipher financial reports that seemed written in code. The phone wouldn't stop ringing. "Harper!" Liam burst into the room. "Stocks have plummeted 35% since yesterday. Investors are in total panic." "What does that mean?" Harper asked, exhausted. "It means the company is losing billions." Liam displayed red graphs on the computer. "If this continues, we'll be bankrupt in 3 months." Harper felt the weight of responsibility crushing her shoulders. Hundreds of jobs, entire families depending on decisions she didn't know how to make. "Liam, I can't. It's too much. You have to. Michael trusted you." At 6 p.m., Harper was leaving the building when an elegant man approached her in the parking lot. "Harper Lane?" His voice was smooth, but there was something dangerous about it. "Who's asking?" "Richard Blackstone, from Blackstone Industries." He extended a golden business card. "May I speak with you?" Harper looked around. The parking lot was deserted. About what? About an opportunity that could change your life forever. I'm not interested in sales. $1 billion, Harper. Harper stopped walking. What? You heard correctly, $1 billion. Richard smiled. In exchange for some documents from Jordan Brand? What kind of documents? Financial reports, international contracts, nothing too complex. Harper felt a shiver down her spine. Why do you want them? Let's just say I have an interest in acquiring some of the company's assets. When it goes bankrupt, of course. The company isn't going bankrupt. Harper, you've seen the numbers. Richard moved closer. Jordan Brand has 3 months left. Tops. Harper started walking toward her car, but he followed. Think about Tyler, Harper. With $1 billion, he'll never have to worry about scarcity again. Private school, college, a life of dignity. My son already has a decent life. Eating pasta every day? Richard laughed cruelly. Wearing old clothes? Living in a 2-room apartment? Harper stopped and turned to him, furious. Listen here, you worm. I'm an honest, hard-working woman. I've never done anything illicit in my life, and I won't start now. Even if that means securing your son's future? Especially for that, Harper shouted. What kind of example would I be to him if I sold my soul for money? A practical example. A disgusting example. Harper opened the car door. Now get out of my way before I call security. Richard took a step back, but his smile was sinister. Think about it, Harper. You have 48 hours to change your mind. I will never change my mind. Never say never. Harper got into the car and sped away, her hands trembling on the steering wheel. When she arrived home, Tyler ran to hug her as always. Hi, Mom. How was work? It was, complicated, sweetie. Harper was preparing dinner when her cell phone rang. A message from an unknown number. Your son is very handsome walking home alone from school. It would be a shame if something happened to him. The documents, Harper. 24 hours. The phone slipped from her hands and fell to the floor. Tyler was being followed. Harper didn't sleep all night. At 6 a.m., she called the number that had sent the threatening message. Hello? Richard Blackstone's voice sounded falsely surprised. You bastard, Harper yelled. You're following my son. Harper? My, such language. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play ignorant. The message about Tyler. You sent it. Message. Richard laughed. Harper, dear, you're being paranoid. Perhaps it's the stress of working beyond your capacity. Harper felt her blood boil. If you lay a finger on my son, I would never harm a child. His voice turned serious. But the world is a dangerous place, Harper, especially for vulnerable families. What do you mean by that? I mean your son deserves security, financial and physical, and you can provide that for him. Harper hung up, trembling with rage and fear. At the office, Liam immediately noticed something was wrong with Harper when she arrived. Harper? He found her in the conference room, staring blankly at documents without really reading them. Are you okay? I'm fine. She didn't even look up. You have bags under your eyes. Slept poorly? I'm just tired, Liam. Running a company isn't easy. Liam sat beside her. Want to talk about it? There's nothing to talk about. Harper continued to pretend to read the papers. Harper, look at me. Reluctantly, she looked at him. Liam saw fear in her eyes. What's going on? Nothing. Just work pressure. Are you sure? You look scared. I'm fine, Liam. I just need to focus. Liam didn't believe her, but he didn't push it. If you need anything, you tell me, okay? Okay. When Liam left, Harper's phone rang again. Have you changed your mind? Richard asked without preamble. I'll never change my mind. Pity? Did you know you have debts you can't even imagine? What are you talking about? Overdue credit cards, student loans you've forgotten about, your mother's medical bills that have gone to collections. Harper felt the world spin. How do you know about that? I know a lot, darling. In total, you owe $120,000. That's impossible. Do you want me to send you the statements? Richard chuckled. Compound interest is a terrible thing, don't you think? Harper was in complete shock. Even if this is true, I won't. Harper, listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. His voice turned icy. You have 24 hours to hand over the documents to me. And what if I don't? Accidents happen, Harper, especially to indebted single mothers who wander distractedly through the city. Are you threatening me? I'm protecting you. From yourself. Harper was trembling. Tyler has nothing to do with this. Tyler has everything to do with this. Richard exploded. He's your weak spot, and everyone has a weak spot. I'm going to call the police. And say what? That a respectable businessman offered you money? Richard guffawed. Good luck proving anything. Michael will protect me. Michael is too busy being humiliated in a restaurant to protect anyone. The line went silent for a few seconds. 24 hours, Harper, Richard repeated. After that, I can't guarantee anyone's safety. He hung up. Harper couldn't stay in the office any longer. The image of the man following Tyler wouldn't leave her mind. She grabbed her bag and ran out. Harper, where are you going? Liam shouted after her. We have meetings. Cancel everything, she yelled back, already getting into the elevator. Harper drove like a madwoman to Tyler's school. Her hands trembled on the steering wheel. Her heart pounded erratically. When she arrived, she rushed to the front desk. I need to pick up my son. Tyler Lane, she said, panting. But ma'am, it's not time yet. It's an emergency. The secretary, startled by Harper's desperation, called Tyler. Mom? Tyler appeared confused. Why did you come to pick me up early? We're going home, sweetie. Now. On the way, Harper constantly checked the rearview mirror. Any car that followed her for more than 2 blocks sent her into a panic. Mom, you're driving too fast, Tyler said, grabbing the seatbelt. Sorry, baby. Harper slowed down, trying to appear normal. When they arrived home, Harper locked the door with 2 deadbolts and pulled the curtain shut. Tyler, go take a shower. Her voice was strained. But I took one yesterday. Go take a bath, she yelled, then took a deep breath. Sorry, sweetie. Just go take a bath, please. Tyler bolted for the bathroom, startled by his mother's tone. Harper walked into the kitchen and leaned against the sink. The weight of everything happening crashed down on her at once. $1 billion. Tyler being followed. Debts she didn't even know existed. 24 hours to destroy Michael or lose her son. She started to cry, first softly, then in uncontrollable sobs. Years of struggle, of honest work, of trying to do the right thing. And now she was being forced to choose between her integrity and her son's safety. How do I get out of this? She whispered to herself. How? Betraying Michael meant destroying the man who was trying to redeem himself, who had become a friend, who Tyler adored. But not betraying Michael meant putting Tyler in danger. Mom? Tyler's voice startled her. Harper turned quickly, wiping her tears. Hi, sweetie. All done with your bath? Tyler approached slowly, still wrapped in a towel. Mom, why are you crying? I'm not crying, just got something in my eye. Tyler didn't believe her. He moved closer. Mom, are we going to be poor forever? Tyler's innocent question broke Harper's heart. She knelt to his level. Why do you ask that, sweetie? Because you're always worried about money, and you're acting really strange today. Harper hugged Tyler tightly, trying not to cry again. Tyler, it doesn't matter if we're poor or rich. What matters is that we have each other. But don't you want more money? Harper looked into her son's innocent eyes. How could she explain to a child that someone was offering enough money to solve all their problems? But accepting it would mean becoming a terrible person. Tyler, there are things more important than money. Like what? Like being a good person. Like being able to look in the mirror and like the person you see? Tyler thought for a moment. I like the person you are, Mom. Tears welled up in Harper's eyes again. Even if we're poor? Even if we're poor, Tyler smiled. You're the best mom in the world. Mother and son held each other there in the kitchen, a moment of peace amidst the chaos. The embrace was interrupted by a knock at the door. It must be Uncle Michael. Tyler ran to open it. Michael entered with a worried expression. Harper, Liam called me. He said you bolted from the office. What happened? Harper looked at Michael, The man she was trying to transform, who had humbled himself to learn about real life, who trusted her implicitly. And then she looked at Tyler, her son, her life, her responsibility. "Tyler, go get dressed," she said softly. "But Mom—" "Go, honey, now." Tyler left reluctantly. Harper turned back to Michael, the weight of the impossible decision crushing her shoulders. "Michael, I need to tell you something." Michael saw the desperation in Harper's eyes and sat down immediately. "What is it, Harper? You're scaring me." Harper took a deep breath, her hands trembling. "A man approached me. Richard Blackstone." "Blackstone?" Michael frowned. "From Blackstone Industries? He offered $1 billion for documents from your company." Michael went pale. "$1 billion? Michael, I said no." Harper rushed to explain. "I said I would never do anything like that." "I know you said no." Michael took her hand. "Go on." "But he didn't take no for an answer." Harper started to cry. "He's following Tyler, Michael. He sent threatening messages." "He's what?" Michael shot up. "There's a man following Tyler from school. Blackstone said accidents can happen." Michael immediately pulled out his phone. "This is a federal crime." He dialed a number. "Liam, activate our security protocol now. I want 3 security guards at Harper's house and 2 at Tyler's school. Immediately." Harper was in shock watching Michael transform back into the businessman. "Michael, you don't have to." "I do." He dialed another number. "James, it's Michael Jordan. I need you to move mountains. We have a situation with Richard Blackstone from Blackstone Industries. Yes, blackmail and threats. I want the FBI here in an hour." Harper had never seen Michael like this. Determined, powerful, protecting his family. "Harper, show me all the messages he sent." Harper grabbed her phone and showed him the threatening messages. "Perfect." Michael took pictures of them. "This is evidence." His phone rang. "Michael Jordan." "Yes, Agent Rodriguez. I'm sending the evidence now." "An hour? Perfect." Michael hung up and looked at Harper. "The FBI will be here in an hour. Blackstone has committed 3 federal crimes: blackmail, threatening a minor, and attempted market manipulation." "Market manipulation?" "Harper, if he got hold of those documents and used them to bring down my company, that would be insider trading. He'd make billions from privileged information." Harper was beginning to grasp the magnitude of Blackstone's plan. "So he didn't just want to bribe me? He wanted to destroy the entire Jordan brand to buy up the pieces cheaply afterwards." Tyler appeared in the room already dressed. "Uncle Michael, why are men in suits on our street?" Michael and Harper glanced out the window. 3 black SUVs were parked in front of the building. "They're my friends, champ. They'll look after you." "Like bodyguards?" Tyler's eyes lit up. "Like in the movies?" "Like in the movies." Michael smiled, but his expression was serious. Harper's phone rang. It was Blackstone. "Answer it," Michael whispered. "Put it on speaker." Harper answered, trembling. "Harper, I expect you have an answer for me." "I do." Harper looked at Michael, who nodded encouragingly. "The answer is no, and it will never be yes." "Pity." Blackstone's voice turned icy. "I just saw your son leaving school. Handsome boy. It would be terrible if I were you, I'd finish that sentence very carefully." Michael roared into the phone. Silence on the other end. "Michael Jordan?" Blackstone stammered. "The one and only. And I have some news for you, Richard. You're speaking with 2 witnesses and being recorded by the FBI." "That's impossible." "Agent Rodriguez, are you hearing this?" Michael asked. "Loud and clear, Mr. Jordan." A new voice joined the call. "Mr. Blackstone, you are under arrest for extortion, menacing a minor, and attempted market manipulation." "That's ridiculous," Blackstone bellowed. "What's ridiculous is threatening a child," the agent retorted. "A team is en route to your location now." "You can't prove anything." "Richard," Michael smiled, "you just confessed everything on a call recorded by the FBI." The line went dead. "Agent Rodriguez?" Harper asked. "He hung up, but don't worry. We have his location. He'll be apprehended within 10 minutes. Harper collapsed onto the sofa, relieved. "Is it over?" It's over. Michael sat beside her. You were very brave, Harper. Tyler hopped onto both their laps. Did you catch the bad guy? We did, champ. Michael hugged him. No one will bother you ever again. Harper looked at Michael with infinite gratitude. Thank you for protecting me. Family protects family, and you're my family now. 3 months later, Harper found herself in a boardroom that no longer intimidated her. On the table lay documents for the establishment of something revolutionary, the Harper Lane Institute for Working Mothers. Michael entered carrying a bottle of champagne. Congratulations, partner, he said with a smile. The papers are signed. Harper looked at the contract that made her the executive director and a minority partner of the institute. An executive salary, but with a mission that made her heart beat faster. Michael, do you remember our challenge? I do, Michael replied, taking a seat. It feels like an eternity ago. I've learned that managing billions of dollars can be more challenging than I ever imagined, Harper said thoughtfully. Being privileged has its perks, but dealing with business, making decisions that affect thousands of people, it's not easy. Michael nodded. And I've learned that being a waitress is one of the hardest professions in the world. He paused. Being humiliated every day, working through physical pain, smiling when you're dying inside, I never truly understood that. So we both learned our lesson, didn't we? Harper smiled. We did, Michael agreed. Never judge someone's life until you've walked a mile in their shoes. Tyler burst into the room, now dressed in new clothes but retaining his simple demeanor. Mom, Uncle Michael, did you see the news? What news, sweetie? 3 companies want to copy our model. Tyler showed them his tablet. Fair wages, respect for employees, on-site childcare. Michael chuckled. Our model? You're a partner now too, champ. Of course, Tyler sat between them. I'm the official consultant for the program called What Children Need When Mothers Work. Harper hugged her son. In 3 months, their lives had transformed completely, not due to easy money, but because of mutual understanding and genuine respect. Harper, Michael said, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you regret tearing up that check? Harper considered for a moment. Michael, that check would have given me $10 million, but I wouldn't have learned that I could run a company, she replied, and you wouldn't have learned what real work entails. So, was it worth it? It was, because now, when I see a CEO, I understand the pressure they carry. And when you see a waiter, you understand the struggle they face. Tyler raised his hand as if in a classroom. Can I say something? Of course, love. I've learned that rich people aren't bad and poor people aren't lazy. They're just different. Michael and Harper looked at each other, impressed by Tyler's wisdom. Harper said, children learn more from observing than from listening. Michael added, when you understand someone else's life, you stop judging and start respecting. Harper stood up and walked to the window. Down below on the street, she saw mothers leaving the institute after another day of vocational training. Some were picking up their children from daycare. Others were rushing to new jobs they'd secured through the program. Do you know what's most incredible? She said. Each of these women is learning that they can aspire to more without losing their dignity. And each entrepreneur who hires them is learning that a respected employee works better. Michael joined her at the window, and it all started with a discussion about a tip. Number, Harper smiled. It all started when 2 people had the courage to step out of their comfort zones and truly understand each other's lives. Tyler appeared between them. And now you're best friends. The 3 of them laughed and hugged, looking at the activity on the street. A waitress had learned that being rich isn't just about spending money. A billionaire had learned that being poor isn't just about a lack of money. And together they were proving that when you truly understand another's struggle, you stop competing and start collaborating. If this story touched your heart and you believe that mutual understanding can change the world, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Because when people from different worlds truly respect each other, miracles happen. Share this story with someone who needs to understand that everyone has their own struggles.